Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, Ministers, Excellencies, colleagues. I'm pleased to speak with you today regarding our efforts to enhance United Nations peacekeeping operation, as well as to emphasize the importance of your support for this vital work. But before doing so, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Russian Federation for inscribing peacekeeping as one of the topics to be discussed at this conference, and for its invitation to me to participate. The Russian Federation plays an important role with regard to peacekeeping operation as a permanent member of the Security Council, of course, but also as a financial contributor, as well as a troop and police contributor. And I would like to thank the Russian Federation for its men and women who serve in 8 peacekeeping operations. I would like to pay tribute to the Russian personnel who lost their lives serving UN peacekeeping. And today I'm proud to wear the pin of the Russian Association of UN Peacekeeping Veteran. I was pleased to meet the director of this association yesterday. And again, thank you for all what the Russian Federation is doing to support us. As you're well aware, peacekeeping operations have a direct impact on the lives of hundreds of thousands of children, women, and men across the globe. And every day as we speak, the peacekeepers are working very hard to deliver on their mandates, in many places putting their own lives at risk. However, as you already know, peacekeeping is facing a multitude of challenges. And those challenges include increasing threats, diminishing content of the parties, complex mandates, staggering protection tasks, unclear prospects of exit, and too often, unfortunately, a lack of progress in political processes. And in too many instances, peacekeepers are no longer protected by the UN flag. Actually, they become a target. And this is why we've had so many peacekeepers who lost their lives in the recent years. And of course, I would also want to take this opportunity to pay tribute to all of them. And it's a pleasure to be here today with so many representatives of our troop and police contributing countries, including many of my fellow panelists. I would like to greet them and to thank them. The problems peacekeeping is facing today are exacerbated by the changing nature of conflict. We have now intrastate conflicts in most cases that are coupled with the rise of transnational phenomena such as illegal criminal activities, international terrorism, and this is all compounded by the role of new technologies. Weak governance, insufficient responses to grievances can feed the cycle of violence and complicate the path to peace. We face longer-running conflicts today, where achieving sustainable peace depends on tackling multiple dimensions of these conflicts, as our operation in Mali or the Central African Republic or the DR Congo demonstrate. Ladies and gentlemen, peacekeeping is not mentioned in the UN Charter, as you know, but it finds its roots in the Charter's ideals and principles. The non-use of force, peaceful settlement of disputes, non-intervention, cooperation, and the sovereign equality of member states. All these remain the foundation of international relations. Peacekeeping's own 3 basic principles, which are impartiality, consent of the parties, and non-use of force except in self-defense and defense of the mandate, derive from these principles. Peacekeeping missions are really the quintessential, collectively funded multilateral peace and security instrument. One that combines political engagement with military, police, technical capabilities to foster peace in countries at war. They derive their authority from the Charter's universality, which brings together all member states and international actors to develop unified responses to these challenges. As you're well aware, peacekeeping is fundamentally a political tool to support the implementation and achievement of peaceful settlement. This is really what peacekeeping is about. And inevitably, when we find a peacekeeping mission facing operational crisis, a political crisis lies at its root. And we all agree its peacekeeping strength is political role, but we must do better at taking the primacy of political. In other words, the strengthened efforts to achieve durable political solution is really essential. And we put a lot of emphasis on this in the Secretariat, the Secretary General's initiative, Action for Peacekeeping. The Security Council provides peacekeeping operation their mandate, and it is important to make sure that we have a strong, united Security Council, and that we should have a council that gives us mandates that are both targeted, prioritized, with a sense of hierarchy among the different tasks that peacekeeping is given. The General Assembly, of course, plays a very important role too. It's the General Assembly of the United Nations that provides us with our finance and our budgets. And the committee, the Special Committee on Peacekeeping, so-called C34, really provides an invaluable guidance to us, and we are, as Secretariat, regularly in touch with the C34, particularly as we are now in the process of explaining what actions we are implementing against the backdrop of our initiative, Action for Peacekeeping. And we look forward to continuing this very intense engagement with our member states, with the T34, and of course with our troop and police contributing countries and host state, as well as a regional organization, as we move towards implementing our commitments. In line with our commitments through the Action for Peacekeeping initiative, we continue to work to strengthen performance of peacekeeping. First, the link between performance and safety or security of peacekeepers is clear, and enhancing both is an utmost priority. This includes a renewed commitment, together with our highest risk missions, to implement our action plan on improving the security of peacekeepers, which is really a plan to improve performance as a whole. We're putting in place a comprehensive system to assess our mission's overall performance, as well as the performance of military and foreign police units. For our military personnel, we established a clear framework of performance standards and assessments based on regular performance evaluation of military units, including on command and control, protection of civilians, conduct and discipline, and training. We're currently in the process of establishing a similar process of performance evaluation for foreign police units. We have also stepped up our efforts to make sure that the units joining our missions meet our operational readiness standards before they are deployed, including through the development of a new methodology for pre-deployment evaluations. Units with shortfalls can now be identified and engaged proactively to receive targeted training and equipment support. Second, we're being smarter about the implementation of protection of civilian mandates, which is now one of the key priorities in our mandate. The mission's protection strategy should bring together the mission's unique civilian, political, military, police, and logistical capacities, creating a unity of effort to identify civilians at risk, to identify the threats in the environment in which our peacekeepers are evolving, so that we can prevent and respond to these threats. And of course, the ability of having a better situational awareness and to have a better expertise at that is one of the crucial priorities in that regard. The focus must first be on prevention by engaging in dialogue and by helping establish a protecting environment, including by supporting the presence of state authority. However, where efforts at prevention fail or violence is ongoing, our operations play an indispensable role in providing physical protection to civilians, sometimes using force, again, in defense of our mandates, which include the protection of civilians in most of our big operations. Over the past several years, we have strengthened our ability to deploy tailored protection strategies for the places where we are deployed, such as the deployment of early warning networks in the Democratic Republic of Congo. In peacekeeping, a lack of proper training undermines our performance, hinders our efforts to implement mandates, and puts our peacekeepers at risk. We're planning special emphasis on strengthening our pre-deployment training and assessment, and enhancing leadership training and in-mission training, including tabletop and command post exercises on scenarios like CASEVAC. In addition, the Police Division has launched the UN Police Training Architecture Program in cooperation with member states. We look to our member states to fulfill their commitment, including to help us in our efforts to strengthen training, both pre-deployment as well as in-mission training. And we already have received, on the occasion of the high-level ministerial meeting that was held in New York just a couple of weeks ago, a number of pledges regarding training, and we're very grateful for that. Training is definitely a key priority. Another priority is to increase the number of women in peacekeeping. We do know that more women in peacekeeping means a more effective peacekeeping, and we are experiencing this on a day-to-day basis everywhere. So please, dear colleagues from member states, continue your efforts in order to increase the number of women in peacekeeping. And of course, conduct and discipline, the zero-tolerance policy regarding, in particular, sexual exploitation and abuse in peacekeeping is a major priority. The member states' commitments are clear through the voluntary compact on the elimination of sexual exploitation and abuse, which has now 101 signatories, and a circle of leadership, which includes 72 sitting and former heads of state and government. But we must do more. We must continue our efforts so as to be more informed about allegations of sexual exploitation and abuse, as well as to be more reactive and to have our member states further increase their reactivity. Ladies and gentlemen, the Action for Peacekeeping initiative, which has been endorsed by 151 member states, emphasizes that all peacekeeping stakeholders have a role in ensuring the success of peacekeeping. To adapt to more complex and high-risk conflicts, our peacekeeping missions must become more mobile and more proactive. For example, the United Nations now has verified military units on standby that can be deployed in less than 60 days. In Mali, we have an urgent need for armored personnel carriers that greatly improve chances of surviving an attack. This is an operation where more than 119 peacekeepers have been killed and 397 injured since the establishment of MINUSMA in 2013. In the Central African Republic and many other missions, we need helicopters that can operate 24/7 for medical and casualty evacuations from remote areas. Elsewhere, we need armed utility helicopters, intelligent peacekeeping intelligence expertise for a better situational awareness to prevent threats on us and on civilians, surveillance and reconnaissance units, quick reaction forces capacities, and air medical evacuation team. A critical part of fulfilling these and other needs is ensuring that our troops and police contributing countries are trained and equipped to carry out their mandates. 3 weeks ago, as I mentioned, we had 130 member states represented at the ministerial meeting on peacekeeping in New York, 60 at ministerial level. Performance and protection on the was a key theme of that meeting on the 29th of March, and I was very glad to meet with the distinguished Russian delegation that participated in this high-level meeting, as well as with many of you, including some of our fellow panelists. A number of pledges were made. I mentioned pledges on training. There were also pledges on capacities, which were very much appreciated. I think this was indicative of the common determination and willingness to work together so as to improve the effectiveness and impact of peacekeeping. But I do emphasize that it is a global effort. It needs stronger political efforts. It needs continuous effort aimed at fulfilling our commitment regarding performance, regarding partnership with regional, sub-regional organization is also very important. Our continuous effort regarding conduct and discipline, and certainly the efforts to increase the number of women. I do believe that we have a good momentum. I'm happy to be present and participating in this conference, and I look forward to today's debate. Thank you for your attention.